Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who figure review. In today's Doctor Who figure review, I'll be taking a look at the Friends of the 13th Doctor collector figure set containing Yaz, Ryan and of course good old Graham. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to do the packaging, articulation and detail and compare the original figures to the first releases of Graham, Ryan and Yaz. So without further ado, let's begin this review. So taking a look at the packaging for the Friends of the 13th Doctor. So again we have the traditional style guide motif packaging with the Doctor Who logo, the etched TARDIS design, the limited edition sticker, the nice window box display displaying all three figures, and the Friends of the 13th Doctor collector's figure set and the scaled figures 5+ character options. Side we have the nice TARDIS motif there, and on the back we have the prototype images of the figures themselves and what the set includes itself, and on the other side we have what's included within this set and again the nice window box display there. So taking a look at the first figure in the set, which is of course Yaz, as she appeared in Fugitive of the Judoon. So let's take a look at Yaz's articulation and then we'll go on to the detail. So taking a look at the articulation for Yaz, the head can move side to side but is hindered by the hair. The arms can do a full 360-degree turn, 360 at the bicep, bend at the elbow, 360 at the wrists. We do have 360-degree turn at the waist. The legs are on a T-crotch joint so they can kick out and do the splits. Thigh can do a full 360-degree turn and bend at the knee. So take a look at the detail for the Yaz figure. So the praises I had for the original Yaz figure pretty much stands the same. The likeness is superb. It is a dead ringer for Mandip Gill. Character options have just done a superb job replicating Mandip Gill's likeness. Start off with the hair. Now the hair isn't as accurate as it appears in Fugitive of the Judoon. It's slightly different, but it's a good close approximation because obviously character options are using the same head sculpt as before, but I think that it can just get away with it, which is rather cool. But the hair is done very well. As you can see, we've got the space bun detailing there for different texturing of the hair to show the sort of individual strands detail, which is done incredibly well, and I really do like the hair on this figure. Now the likeness, like I said, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know, we've got the detailing of the earring there. It's just a stunning likeness to Mandip Gill, and definitely I personally do prefer this Yaz figure over the one what was released back in the summer wave. I just think this is a very good figure and very nice sort of costume choice by character. So speaking of costume, so the shirt is now done with a leopard print design now, which is done very well with this sort of leopard print shirt. We have the brown leather jacket detailing. Obviously this uses the Claudia Brown base figure. And obviously we've got the detailing of the sort of creases to give that lifelike effect and all the various seams, which is done very well. And obviously we've got the buttons on the cuff and the seams of the jacket itself, which is done very well to give that lifelike effect. The trousers, we've got the belt painted there and the buckle, which really does stand out on the figure. And of course we have the black jeans with the creasing detail and the seams to help really make this figure seem very lifelike. And the boots have now been painted this nice burgundy red, much like how they appeared in Fugitive of the Judoon. But Yaz's jacket, I believe, has sort of like a sort of ridged motif on it, but obviously character options using the existing parts. I think that this just works a lot better compared to the Yaz from It Takes You Away personally. So comparing the two Yaz's figure, so the base figure, like I said, was the Claudia Brown Primeval figure. So here we have the ones from the Friends and Foe of the 13th Doctor, and this is the Friends of the 13th Doctor one. So you can see the slight difference in the hair, but this one has more of a gloss finish to it. And obviously the sort of paint apps on the face are ever so slightly different. I would say that they seem a little bit more sharper on the Fugitive of the Judoon one personally. And I think that the costume definitely seems to stand out more on the Fugitive of the Judoon one. I just think that it just seems a lot more vibrant and just pops a little bit more. And obviously we've got the difference in the trousers and the boots there. But very much the same detailing, what we sort of expected from the Yaz figure. But I have to say, I really do personally prefer the Fugitive of the Judoon one. I think that the details on the paint apps on the face are a lot more sharper and a lot more crisper compared to the original release. So yeah, that is the Yaz figure. So next up we have Ryan Sinclair as he appeared in the Ghost Monument. So let's look at Ryan's articulation and then the detail. So taking a look at the articulation for Ryan, the head can move side to side. The arms can do a full 360-degree turn. We have 360-degree turn at the bicep, bend at the elbow, 360 at the wrists, and of course we do have waist swivel but is hindered by the coat, and of course the legs can kick out and ever so slightly to the side but hindered by the coat, and 360 at the thigh and bend at the knee. So taking a look at the detail for Ryan, so very much the same praises like I said in my review of the Friends and Foe, the 13th Doctor set. It's a brilliant likeness to Tosin Cole. The hair sculpt is done very well. As you can see, we've got the detailing of the hair with a slight effect to it, and obviously we've got the slight fading of the way Ryan's hair is cut, which is done very well, and like I said, the likeness is definitely Tosin Cole. And we've moved down to the costume. The jacket's sort of this grey-blue colour, and we have this very vibrant blue t-shirt underneath there, and obviously this uses the Nick Cutter body. So we have the pocket sculpted there and the buttons painted to sort of really accentuate the detail, so it doesn't just seem like one big block of colour, which is done very well. Again, we've got the creases, the pocket detailing there, and again pockets on the back of the jacket. And then we have the very vibrant orange trousers, which have got a slight wash to them to get that sort of weathered look, whether that's to sort of indicate the sort of them roaming around on desolation. And of course we've got these sort of boots now painted white to sort of symbolise Ryan's trainers, which again have got a slight sort of sandy wash to them, which really does highlight the detail of the shoes, with obviously the way the shoes are sort of stitched together. And of course we've got the creasing detail on the trousers themselves. So yeah, very good detail for Ryan. Like I said, fantastic likeness to Tosin Cole, what we've sort of come to know and expect with the Ryan figures. So yeah, that is the Ryan figure, so let's look at the comparison. So moving on to the comparison for Ryan, so the main body is a Series 1 Nick Cutter body figure. So this is the Ryan from the Friends and Foe 13th Doctor set there, from his appearance in It Takes You Away. So as you can see, the paint apps again I feel are a little bit more sort of crisper on the new one. I feel like that's what character options have done with this. Let's sort of refine the paint apps on the face to make it seem even more of a sharper likeness to Tosin Cole. But as for the detailing, I feel like the detailing is a little bit more better on the original one. As you can see, we've got a slight sort of wax jacket look to it, with obviously the different textures to give it that sort of wax jacket look, where this just seems rather plain in comparison really. And obviously we've got the very vibrant trousers and the boots now painted white to represent the trainers. But out of the two Ryan figures, I think I probably prefer the first release compared to the Ghost Money one. Moving on to the final figure in this set, and it is of course Graham O'Brien as he appears in It Takes You Away. So let's look at the articulation for Graham. So taking a look at the articulation for Graham, the head can move side to side, the arms can do a full 360-degree turn, 360 at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and of course 360 at the wrists. Of course we do have waist articulation, and the legs can kick out and can sort of do the splits, but it's sort of hindered by the coat. And then of course 360 at the thigh and bend at the knee. So taking a look at the detail for Graham, so if we take a look at the head sculpt, now the head sculpt very much the same praises like I said in my Graham figure review back in February I believe. So yeah, it's a very nice figure, with obviously the detailing of the hair is done very well, that light brown base coat with a slight grey wash to really highlight the sculpting of the hair detailing. So you can really see the different detailing on the hair with different textures, which really does make the figure pop. The likeness, you know, very good likeness to Bradley Walsh. The paint apps have been slightly refined. As you can see, we've got the lines on the forehead to give him that slightly aged look, and Graham has that slight smirk on his face, which really does help sell this figure that it is Bradley Walsh. And I do think that is a very good likeness to Bradley Walsh. It really does look like Bradley Walsh. So the costume itself has been slightly refined, and I personally do prefer this one compared to the one released at the start of the year. So if we take a look underneath the jacket, we've got this sort of check design to sort of give the illusion and impression of a check shirt. The jacket again is a brown leather jacket, very much the same sort of detailing, the pockets, the zip there, and obviously the creases and the elasticated bottom half, and again that elasticated effect is done on the cuffs. Very much the sort of same sort of creasing detail to make it seem give it that lifelike effect, which is done very well. And the jeans of this sort of very dark blue colour, again very much the same sort of creasing details to help give it a lifelike effect, and a slight faded look to give it that sort of denim effect, which I really do like. And the shoes have a slight sort of grey wash to really sort of accentuate the sort of worn and weathered look of the shoes, which I think is done very well. So moving on to the comparison section for Graham, so the body is a Stephen Hart Primeval figure. So this is the sort of Wave, 13th Doctor Wave Graham, and I have to say that I do prefer the one in the B&M set, I think, because it has a variant of colour. This one just seems very blocky and just doesn't seem to stand out, whereas this one definitely does pop more on the shelf. In terms of paint apps, I think the paint apps are relatively the same. I think maybe they're a little bit sharper on the B&M one, as you've got the lines on the forehead. I mean, you can see them ever so slightly, but I think that's more down to how the paints have been applied. But you can really see the variation in sort of the hair, that this one has slightly more grey to it compared to the B&M one. But I definitely do think that the costume does seem to pop more on the B&M one. It just seems to be a lot more vibrant instead of the block colour of blue. So I really do like it. So you really can see the differences in the Graham figure there. So if you've got the original Graham, you can see whether you want to double dip. But I think that this is definitely the better Graham costume variant. So that concludes my review of the Friends of the 13th Doctor collector figure set. So what do I think of the figures themselves? Well, I think that the figures are pretty good. I think the Ryan figure is probably the weakest for me personally. I personally prefer the original It Takes You Away variant, just because I feel like the detailing is a little bit better. But I think that the Yaz figure is personally probably my favourite of the set. I think that the Fugitive of a Jadoon figure variant was a good choice by character options and definitely does stand out on the 13th Doctor's section on the shelf. And the Graham, like I said, because he has a bit more variety in colour, again he stands out on the shelf very well. You know, and obviously if you missed out on getting the sort of standard release of Graham, then obviously you can pick up this set and get the whole sort of 13th Doctor TARDIS team. So I think that is a great way for people to get the whole 13th Doctor TARDIS team. But I think for me personally, I would have wanted something a little bit more from this set. I would have liked to have seen maybe a Captain Jack variant in there. That would have been very nice. Or maybe sort of Sacha Dhawan's master, you know, using the tuxedo 10th Doctor body. You know, because in the character options sort of B&M budget, you know, we can get new head sculpts, but maybe because this is a revised and tweaked set, you know, the budget probably didn't allow it. But maybe we can see a Sacha Dhawan master in the future. That would be lovely. Or maybe they could have included a sort of corroded Cyberman and put it with a preacher gun, much like in the start of Ascension of a Cyberman. That would have been lovely. But I think if you did miss the 13th Doctor sort of companions in their general release, or you just missed Graham, then this is a perfect opportunity to pick up that set. But I do like this set overall. I do think it is a good set. I think the revised tweaks have been brilliant, especially for Yaz and Graham. So thank you very much for watching this review. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video, whatever that will be. So thank you very much, and goodbye.